to continue with the classes and objects. So I discussed so many examples with you. This is one of the examples where you can see that do we require to write this private over here?
No, sir.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
But as a standard practice, we are writing because somewhere we are writing the public access specifier also. So just to make it that, okay, these are the private data members. So we are mentioning like this. So what new thing you are finding in this? We know that that can be array of objects, but within this class as a data member, okay. Array can also be as a you can have a data member. Okay, so name you want to store. Now what about this out data? This is a public or private?
Private.
Private. So this is only public. Set data. Set data is just to store a data against that some object. So student S1, S2, two objects have been declared over here. Okay. So when will the memory be allocated? At the time of declaration of the class or at the time of creation or instantiation of this objects?
Object initiation time.
Yes, good.
So at the time of creation of object.
Yeah. So right now S1 dot set data, if I do like this, I put the roll number because it is integer, and this, you know, that string can be referred by this pointer also, char pointer. Yes.
Yes,
You have
sir.
done number of examples.
Yes, sir.
Then this is possible. So against S1 object, student1, roll number and name has been stored. Okay. And for student2 also, which is an object, these objects are nothing but variable of which data type?
Student.
Student is the
Class.
user defined data type. So S1, S2 are variables of this. And in this case, we will say student is a class and S1, S2 are objects of this class. Okay. Now, against S1, what we can store? Looking at this class.
The roll number.
Roll number and name.
Roll number and name.
What data can be stored against S1? Roll number and name. Okay. So why we are using this class? Why we are using this class?
Sir, to hide the data of roll number and name.
Okay, but you could store only homogeneous data type in the arrays. So in class, we can store the heterogeneous data type also. And moreover, we can do the data hiding and encapsulation. All those things are possible through this class. Okay. Now see out. It will be displayed on the screen. If I do S1 dot out data, will it work or not?
No, sir.
No, sir.
What about this? This is private, so it will not be accessible outside the class. But why this set data is accessible outside the class?
So because
it is public.
Public. And how these roll number and name were also private. So how we are able to access them?
In the
By the
class,
help
they
of
are
function.
accessible.
Both are the member of the class. Both are the
So private data members are accessible to the members of its own class. They are accessible over here. Okay. Now, since this is set data is public, so we could access outside the class. And we could assign these values to this roll number, name against each object. Okay. So we can't use this. Values have been stored, but set out data is not public. We cannot access it, so we are not getting the result. We have done this kind of combinations in the previous examples also. Now look at this. This is private, same class, but now this set data is private and out data is public. I cannot access this private. Set data is private, so it cannot be accessed outside the class. Out data is accessible. So I did not put any data, though after declaration, memory was allocated. And what was stored against S1 and S2? Roll number and name was stored, but I could not access this set data. So what was stored? Junk values. That is why I'm getting this kind of result. Okay. Yes or no?
So can you explain once again?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Now in this example, this out data member function is public and set data member function is private. I just want to tell you that if it is private, even a member function is a private, so it cannot be accessed outside the class. Set data, I cannot set the value of S1 and S2. Is it okay now?
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
Now, if I say this is public, so I could access it and I say S1 dot out data. So what data will be displayed on the screen?
Garbage value.
Garbage value.
Values.
Yes. When this S1 and S2 objects were created or declared over here or instantiated over here. So S1, what data I could store for S1? What data was possible? Roll number and name.
So name and roll number.
Yeah, these properties could be assigned to this S1. Okay. So how do I assign these properties or this data to S1? How do I assign it? To some member function?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another
But the member function for assigning is given over here. So is it public or private?
Private.
Private, I cannot access. That is why I just blocked it because it was giving me error. So I can show it live also. So this was not possible. But out data was possible because it was public. So I could access it. But what roll number and name it will show against S1 and S2?
Garbage value.
Garbage value.
Yeah. Something was assigned when I declared. Some data was assigned on its own, but that was the garbage thing. So I'm getting result. So it was here to show you that that how things change when we make it private and public. So the conclusion is that we can access the private data members within its own class, but they are accessible outside the class through public member functions. Private data members are accessible outside the class through public member functions. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, just a small thing over here. I told you that you could use this char pointer for the string. Okay. Now inside this, it is roll number is equal to, because S1 we wanted to store roll number against S1. So you can see in this previous example here it is set data. So two parameters are being passed. One is whatever value we pass over here. So against S1, this roll number will be set as this 101, and for object 2, student 2, 203 will be stored. But what about this? You are passing this string. Okay, yes. It is very well taken by this char pointer. Now inside this you will observe one thing. I am not writing name is equal to name underscore in. I'm writing this string copy. So that function works with this char array. See, char array, it will work string copy name, because this was the name of the array, comma, and whatever string I wrote over here, passed over here, will be copied into this. Okay.
strcpy is
a function. There's a list of functions which can be used along with it. So here I'm just using this strcpy. Okay, within parentheses. So it is an inbuilt function that works with C string. Okay.
It will copy the name into name.
this what you are passing over, Amar?
Amar.
Yes. Okay, then Amar is here, and where we wanted to copy it?
In the name.
Name array, this array.
Yes,
So
sir.
it will get copied into it. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can see in this example, everything is public.
Sir, if data type of name in is different, will it work?
Data type,
Of name in.
it's not different. It's char pointer only. This is also char. This is also char. You know, this can be referred by a pointer. We have done it in the previous classes. Not many examples have been done.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So in this example, you can see that same example I'm carrying forward, but all the data members as well as the member functions are public. So these are of course accessible, but I could directly assign values to this roll number. So I mean, it's something like it is not a class, it's like structure. Everything was public by default, isn't
Yes, sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
Structure.
There is no data hiding.
Yeah, there is no data hiding. So data hiding is very, very important for object oriented. So, okay, it may look that since we are not accessing this roll number and name outside this class, but somebody could accidentally use it if they were public, isn't it? In this example, it's just set data and out data we are using, which are supposed to be public. We cannot access this any private data member if these member functions were not public outside the class. We could not access this. So what is the ultimate thing you want to do with it?
Storing.
You see, sorry, you see over here, roll number is accessible. So we didn't want this kind of thing to happen. We wanted to change the data values through functions only, not directly.
Yes, sir.
So what should you do? You should keep them private and member functions as public.
Public.
So you can see now.
Sir, in the line 27, it will be not applicable if the above is private.
How it is applicable? As to, yes, you can use an object to access. You can use object to access any data member over here. So, but outside the class, how you are going to access if it is private?
Okay, sir.
Member function.
Through member function, through public member functions. Why? Because this private data member is accessible, set data and out data are members of the same class. So private data members are accessible to members of its own class. Okay, they are accessible. Now, since it is public, I can access this outside this class also. And in this way, I would be able to access the private data members of this class.
Okay. No, sir, I am asking that you can change the value of roll number of S2 object by the line 27. Is it possible or not? I am asking.
No, in this example, it is not possible because here I have changed this data members roll number. Instead of char array, I am taking name just for the sake of example that I could change the data type also over here. So what about this data members, roll number and name? Are they public?
It's private.
So I cannot. Can I do like this? Is it possible to?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if it was public, then you can same change as in the structure.
Ah, yes, then. And we don't want it to be public. We have seen all the combinations, but what we want this kind of arrangement. Class is there, data members are private, and we are able to access them through public member functions. Okay. Now we see that just a small comparison between struct and a class, struct. So what about these? They were public
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and we could access them outside this class. Of course, we
Yeah.
can create the variables of type this. But what about this? We are using this variable, struct variable dot hr. This is the data member of this struct.
Data member of
And we
T1.
could- So this is valid in case of struct. Why? Because everything by default is public.
Public.
Try to write over private in the struct also. See what happens. Okay. Now, what about this? Can I do like this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why?
No, sir.
No,
sir.
It's private.
It is not accessible.
Data members are private.
By default, they are private. And in this example also, it's private. It's written explicitly over here, it is private. So how you are going to change the hours, minutes, seconds of this object T1, time T1? This is one instance of time. When you started playing and when you finished playing. When you started studying, T1 is when you start time of the T1 is start time and T2 is end time. So T1. So how we want to store these hour, minute, second? Can we do it?
Function.
T1.r? No, because it is private. So how we are going to? We are going to do it through
Set time. Set time.
And you will see something like this. Time, name of the class we are writing. We are going to study this part also. These are called constructors. Okay. And the name of the member function is same as the class. So this is the default constructor. These are parameterized constructor. Okay. These are special member functions. We are going to study that also following class. So you can see that here we are not using these things, but in this example, set time it is accessible because it is outside this thing. So where is the definition of this set time? Have we written this definition inside the class? Have you seen?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what is written inside the class?
The prototype.
Prototype.
So I showed you in the previous class that how to write the definition.
Yes, sir.
Student and employee example I had taken. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see some more examples about it. Okay. So just a small summary of it. Class is an expanded concept of data structure. Instead of holding only data, it can hold both data and functions. So what do you say if it is holding data and functions?
क्या बोलते थे वो यार?
Data?
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Yes.
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. Now we say an object is an instantiation of a class. Object is an instantiation of a class. Is an instant of a class. Class is a template, blueprint. So object is an instance of a class. Okay.
Class, not memory.
No,
Not take memory.
Class will not, when you declare it, will not, no memory will be allocated for it. When you allocate when you declare the variable object or create an object, then only it will allocate the memory for it. But here we are saying that an object is an instantiation of a class. Object is an instance of a class. True or false?
True, sir.
Object is yes, sir.
In terms of variables, a class would be the type, okay, and object would be the variable. This is the data type, and object would be a variable. So you could write in this way also. Class name, yes, access specifier, private, public, protected will come. data members, or the member functions. Okay, public, private, and like that. You can. There is no limit over here. And then the object names, you can declare it directly after the declaration of the class, or you can do it putting a semicolon over here and then writing
Class
the
and
class and the object
name.
name. So what class names you can give? Valid identifier. Okay, you know what is valid identifier?
Not a reserved keyword.
Yes, and any other thing? The way you were
Not
declaring the
start with the
variable,
integer value.
same
Not
would
start,
apply.
not integer.
Right. Huh? If there is any inbuilt class, so it may create some problem also. You have to check for it. And object name if it is not reserved. So object names is an optional list of names for the objects of this class. And the body of the declaration can contain, the body of this declaration of this class can contain what? Data or function declarations. And optionally access specifiers. You could write public, private, protected, all those things inside this. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So with examples, we are trying to understand the concept as well as the terminology. Okay. So you can see that what access specifiers we have been talking about. Mainly we have been talking about private and public, and will be coming to know about, you will be coming to know about this protected access specifier also. Now I will concentrate more on this private and public. Okay, so what they are doing, this private and public access specifiers, they modify the access rights. Okay, if data member is there, if you make it private, so it is not accessible outside the class. If it is public, then accessible outside the class. But if it is a private data member of a class are accessible only from within other members of the same class. Do you agree or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you
Yes, sir.
repeat, sir?
So yes, and from their friends also. This we are adding. We'll see that there are friend functions also. Okay, so students were in class, some functions were also in that class, some data members were also there, so they were accessible to the members of its own class, and through public member functions we could access the private data members outside the class also. But if there is a friend, there is a friend function outside this class, there was a function, non-member function, which was not a member function of that class. It was there in the program and we made it friend. Then it would be able to access the private data members also. But are you able to understand? Rajendra?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Can you give some example? In your class, all members in that classroom, all members are private. And if there are some functions, so only those functions which is taking place in that class can access the private data members. So outside the class, that function, if it is that function which is taking place, can
Take only the
outside the
public.
class if it is public. So
Yes,
and the
sir.
private data members will be accessible outside the class.
Yes,
But
sir.
all of you are private inside that class. Now, how somebody can make use of it? How?
If she or he is my friend and I can tell
My
him,
friend,
I can
yes.
allow in permission.
Yes. And it is written on your whiteboard or a blackboard on the class that, okay, this member function is a friend. So only we are accessible to this friend function, though it is not a member function of your class. This
We
function
allowed
was,
permission to him.
you made it friend, but that's not a very good thing. You are just
Sir, that
trying
friend
to
is a
skip
public.
the data hiding part through friend function. I will show all these examples. Just remember these things at the moment. Okay.
Yes.
So protected member functions are accessible from members of the same class. Yes, same thing is applying over here, private, and from their friends. Yes, but also from members of their derived class. We are going to study later when we study the inheritance. So protected members functions will also be accessible from their derived class. So we'll talk about this more when we study the inheritance. Now, public members are accessible from anywhere where the object is visible. So where the object is visible? Outside the class? Yes, it is accessible.
Yes, in the main function.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I hope you understand, your understanding has increased after going through all these examples and the definitions. Okay. About this access specifiers and how to declare a class, how to access. So how you can access a data member of a class or member function of a class?
Through object.
Object.
Object,
Through the
yes.
object.
And what you write in between the object and the member of that class?
Dot operator.
Dot.
Dot
operator.
Dot operator.
Good. Okay. Now is another summary, like class members declared as private can be used only by member functions and friends. Friends can be classes or functions of that class. Okay, we'll see more about it. Protected, I told you that we are going to discuss when we talk about the derived classes, inheritance. Public class members declared can be used by any function. Yes.
So can you explain the protected one?
Protected one, I'm going to explain more when I teach you about the inheritance. Because here the concept of derived class I'm talking about. First part is okay, it is as good as the private, yes, but okay, I can explain it right now also, but see, you are having your suppose what is a derived class? What is inheritance? Have you inherited anything from your parents?
Yes, sir.
What have you inherited?
Specs.
Some traits.
What kind of traits?
Like our voice,
Okay.
Height.
Voice.
Okay.
Weight.
our eyes,
Blood
So
group.
all physical things.
Hair color.
What else you have inherited? Values. Have you inherited the values, human values?
Yes, sir.
How to respond in the society, how to respect your elders, how to treat the junior, your younger ones, how to help people in the society. All those things you have learned from your parents.
Yes,
How
sir.
to be righteous, how to be honest, all those, these are the values you have learned. These are the things you have taken. But what else? Have you inherited any property till date? So some property was there, some property was there, some locker was there, which was private. So how you could access it? Could you access it?
Asking them. We alone cannot access, sir.
So that key for that locker was not available to it. It was privately hidden in the house. So
Yes.
there was a function. There was a function written. There was a program. Some code was written that okay, how to access that locker. You go 10 step this side, then climb down the stairs. There is a basement. Then within that basement, some almirah is there, and within that shelf, all those things was written. Some function was written, and that function was available to you outside the house also. It was written in some notebook or the piece of paper. So looking at that piece of paper, you could locate the key and access that locker. You could get the valuables out of it. Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. Locker is
didn't
private.
understand.
Locker is private, member. But that piece of paper where this everything was written, where the key is lying, how you have to move, where you have to go, all these things. So that was a public member function. Okay, that how to access it. So you could access it now. That was the thing which was with the parents, but now you have also inherited. So private data, if it is private, you won't be able to inherit that locker and all that. So what should be done? Instead of making that locker as totally private, okay, parent could access that. They had their own program or the function to access it. But now it has been inherited by you. You have been derived from the parent class, child class has been derived. Now, if that locker was a protected, so that thing will also be available to you. I'm just going to stop at this moment. I will not discuss more about the protected. Instead of private, you're the derived class. So if it was totally private, it will not be available to you. Had it been protected, then since you're a derived class, you have inherited from the main class, so it will be available to you also. Where the locker was lying, no? So on top of it, if it is written private, so you will not be able to inherit it.
Sir, private things are not available to the friends function.
Friend, no, I'm not talking about friend. I'm talking about the derived class. Friend function, it will be available.
Yes, sir.
So on top of it, if it is protected, then it is available to the derived class also. It is available to the child class. I'm going to stop here since you had asked me about it. So I tried to explain it. I will take up this when you really study about the inheritance. Okay. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can see that class employee. So I have written this. You could write in this fashion also, one after the another. Int, age, and amp code both are integer, and prototypes are there. You could write this object immediately after
E1.
this.
Yes.
Okay, this is all about this in this slideshow. If you have any queries, just ask me. I'm going to move on to the next. Now I come to member functions. I have shown you this example yesterday. This example I had shown you. This example was regarding
writing the function definition outside the class.
Outside the class, yes. Okay. So is my screen visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
member functions can be defined at two places, inside the class definition, outside the class definition. Normally small functions are defined inside the class. Yes, obvious reason. Otherwise the declaration of the class will become so big. So you will not be able to make out from where it is starting. And it will be difficult for you to make changes in that functions also. definitions also. So here you can see where they have been defined. Inside the class or outside the class? This example you have seen today only.
Inside the class.
Inside the
Inside
class.
the class.
How I can declare it? Here I will write the inside the class, I will write the prototype, and definition I will write outside the class. But what thing is to be mentioned when I write the definition outside the class? Return type will remain
Scope
same.
of the class.
Name of the class.
Yeah,
Resolution.
before the name of the this member function, I have to mention the name of the class and
Scope
double
resolution.
colon scope
Double
resolution.
Scope resolution.
Scope resolution.
This inside the class. It's a better view of the previous thing. Now, what is the general form of it? Return type will remain same. Whatever is the return type will remain same. But when we are writing the definition, of course, inside the class, if you are referring to a member function, then prototype should be there. And definition has to be there. It will not work with only prototype. Definition has to be there. But how it is going to make out that with set data belongs to student class or any other class? So for that matter, you can see return type, name of the class, scope resolution, and function, and all those argument declaration and function body between two curly braces. So however, a function prototype is to be defined inside the class. So this is the general form of writing the member function definition outside the class. You can see same example, student, private data members. Now inside this, just prototype is mentioned for both these member functions. Okay, and declaration has been done over here just to show you that it takes place. A declaration of an object or creation of an object can also be done in this fashion also. Now you can see set dot s1 dot set data. It's working, no problem. You are getting the result. So where I'm going to write this definition? Can I write inside the function? This main function? Is it possible?
No, sir, we can't write
No,
definition.
sir.
We can only call.
No, sir.
So we have been calling it through this object, accessing these member functions of this class student through objects of the same class. Yes. Now after this main, we are writing. What was the data return type of this? Yes, void. And set data, of course. Then to which class this definition should belong? This set data.
Student.
Okay, and the scope resolution. And the parameter things will remain same, and the old definition will be written outside the class. Any doubt about it?
Sir, here,
Yes.
sir, here inside the main function, we are not writing the student S1 and S.
Where?
Sir, in the main function, why we are not writing student S1?
We have already declared it, na? This is also one of the way.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
We can also do it in this way.
Yes, you can do it.
Okay, sir.
So generally what you will do, you will declare it and semicolon, and then inside the main you are going to create the objects. So it has been shown to you purposely, like, so that you know that what we have talked about is really happening. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So again the same thing, creating object S1 of type. Your observation is perfect that in the previous examples we have done student, name of the class and name of the object, like that. So here immediately after declaration of, if you write, same thing was, you could do it in the case of structure also, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we can initialize S1 student object inside the main and outside main both, no?
Outside, yeah, you can initialize over here, you can try over here. But you will not be accessing it like S1 dot object, you will not be writing, only through that initializer list it should be possible. Okay.
So only I am asking about the initialization of object S1, sir. Is it possible outside the main?
So like globally.
Okay, I will try that also, but I will keep that your question in mind and then we can try. So let me proceed further. Yeah, same thing shown over here. Yes. Do you have any query? Okay. Now there are different types of member functions that can be declared inside class. What are those? Nesting of member function, inline, constant member function, and friend function. So one by one we are going to talk about it and discuss about it. So, public member function of a class can be invoked only by using an object of that class. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what operator you use?
sir.
Dot
Dot
operator.
operator.
Dot.
Over a member function of the same class, this is also possible. Member function of the same class can call another member function of the same class. So if it is a public members function, so how we are going to access that public member function? Through the object? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But I am saying that there is already a member function, and that member function, within that member function, is it possible to call another member function? Yes, it's a member function.
Yes.
But inside that member function, if I am calling another member function, so I will not require object. When a member function is called by another member function, it is called nesting of a member function. I will show you that. Look at this example, nesting of member function. Class big is there, 2 data members are there, and all these are member functions. Get the value, display, get the maximum value. Now I'm writing the definition of all these member function outside the class. What is the return type of this? Int, name of the class big, scope resolution, Maxwell. Okay. Don't go by this void. It's a, now we don't write this void. I will replace it later on. It means that no parameter is being passed. Okay.
So we keep it like empty parenthesis, no?
Yeah, you can keep it empty parenthesis. Correct. Now what about this? Return n1. Okay, some object will be this, you can say some object is declared, created over here, num, and against that object we are saying getWell. What about this getWell? Belonging to this class, enter the values of n1 and 2. So you input within this function, and against this number 1, some n and n1 and 2 will be stored. So suppose I enter these two values, 33 and 77. So against this number, what values have been stored?
33 and 77.
33, 77, because they are 2 data members. So which member function has been used? GetWell. Yes.
GetWell.
Now, num.disp, that is another member function. So definition is here. Definition is outside the class. Big is the name of the class. Okay. Now, within this member function, I am calling another member function.
Maxwell.
That is also a member function. Okay. So if it is nested, okay, then you will not require any object to access this Maxwell.
That.
You can see we require this getWell to
Yes, sir.
object to access this getWell. We require this object to access disk. But here the nesting is happening, like there is another member function which is being called inside another member. In which member function I am calling this Maxwell?
Display.
Disp is a member function and Maxwell is also a member function. So inside this disp, I am calling this. So am I writing something like the name of the object dot Maxwell?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So that is what I
know that he is of my class.
Yes. Okay. So what will happen when display, because values are there, 33 and 77 are there. So it is going to call this member function, and as per this definition, it is going to tell me which is bigger, n1 or n2. So which one is bigger? It is going to display on the screen. It is going to return the values, and because of cout, it will be displayed. So that was all about the nesting of member functions and calling member function by its name inside another member function of the same class, member function of the same class. Okay, and it will not be requiring any object to access this member function. Got it?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can again ask me. That's not a problem. Okay. Now array of objects. This example is going to take a little time, but I'm going to explain it today itself. So what's the name of the class? Sticker. I have
Sticker.
these examples with me. I can show it in the dev CPP also if there is any doubt. Private. Now you look at it. Something new has been introduced over here. These are const member functions. Okay. Const. So where the const has been mentioned?
After the
After the name of function.
This name of the and the parameters. It has been mentioned over. Now these two are also private data members. Member functions, two member functions are also private. Just for the sake of example, it has been taken like this so that you understand all the things. Public get dimensions properties. So come to this int samples. Yes, this is just a variable of type int. Now what about this sticker label 100? What does it mean?
The array of data types.
Array of objects.
Yeah, array of objects.
Array of
Label is
objects
the
of sticker class.
yes. How many labels? How many
100.
objects? 100. And the index will
100
start
of-
from 0 to
99.
99.
now. In this main, it is going to main is going to get executed, and then it is going to ask me how many sample labels do you want. So I'm going to input some value. So if I input some value, it should be stored against some variable. So what was that variable? Samples.
Samples.
Now I come over here, this for loop. I want to give some dimension to each of these sticker labels. So I'm using a for loop over here. Now for how many sample labels I should do it?
For the number entered by you.
For the
For
number
the number
entered.
entered for
Wait for the number entered. So for so many labels, I'm going to do it. So label 0, okay, for first sticker, get dimension. So what is there in the get dimension? We are going to see. The definition is in the next slide because it's a long program. So divided into two or three slides. Okay. So cout. So what are the characteristics of your label, particular sticker you want to create? So cout label number and some properties will be there. Okay. So long as each of them, some properties will be input. Okay. So yes. And where is the definition of all these things? All these member functions, whether it is private or public.
After main function.
Yeah, we can do it. We have seen that is possible. So come to this point. Void sticker, now you know that why I'm writing this, because get dimension was a member function of sticker class, and I'm writing this definition outside the class. So I need to mention the data type, return type of, and the name of the class, scope resolution, and name of the function. Now what's there in this definition? Height and width of that sticker. You know what I was trying to do against each level, against each object. I want to mention what should be the height and width of it. So it's each level is going to get from here. So if I want it for 5, so 5 times it is going to ask me and store this dimensions for each level. They may be same or they may be different. Whatever you supply the dimension of each sticker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for each object. Now, properties, yes, height, width, perimeter, area. Okay, I want to get the property of it. Okay, so how I'm going to get it? This is a member function. Yes. And what about this? Parameter is a member function or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Member.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
it
sir.
was there.
Yes,
It
sir.
was there, parameter. So what about this? Is it nesting of member function or yes or no?
yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Nesting.
And I
Calling
don't
another
require any
public member
object.
function.
Of course, this is a public member function, so these are accessible outside the class also, these properties. But what about this? These are private. So private
Private.
are these private area perimeter and area member functions accessible to these properties or
yes,
Yes,
not?
sir.
sir. Member function
Yes, sir.
है
Sir,
इसलिए
accessible.
Member function.
Yes,
accessible
sir.
है.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Function of same.
Now we have seen this perimeter and area, of course. Inside this, we just wrote the prototype. Now definition, same way we can write. Even if it is a private member function, definition we can write.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Now some formula has been set inside this function, and some formula has been set inside this function. Okay. So we have the height, width, perimeter, and area. So it's going to give us the properties of that label. Okay.
Yes,
Get
sir.
dimension could set the properties, height, width, and this member function is going to give us this information about this, all this height, width, perimeter, area, about that. So what about this const? Any data value, suppose in this definition, deliberately or accidentally, this height or width, these are the two data members. If I say height is equal to double the height and with double the width, so because of this const, these data values will not, it is not possible to change the data values for this. Okay.
Sir, using const, we cannot change the height and width.
Yes, you will not be, because these are the data members. You will not be able to change it.
Yes,
Okay. Now look at this. Now the whole program is written over here and some definitions you have already seen. So when we run it, I'm going to quickly show you this. Scene samples. So you said three. We want to input for 3 objects or for 3 labels or for 3 stickers. We want to input data. So first one 2.25 and width is like this. So for all the 3 labels you have mentioned this thing. Now this task is over. Get dimensions. Yes, it is stored. Now it is going to give us the properties using that. Now, yes, we could get it. Okay, as per the definition of these properties, and within that properties, what we had used, nesting of member functions, perimeter and area were there. So we could get the result like this. Yes.
Sir, why we are hiding the hiding perimeter and area function, still we are using it outside? Why we are hiding?
Because the way you could use these, how height and width were used through public member functions.
Yes, sir.
These are height and width. You could access them through this get dimension, and property is also public. So any private member, any private, whether it is member function or data member, it can be accessed by members of its own class. Yes. Height and width is accessible to perimeter and area.
Yes, sir.
They are member of this own class, and they are also accessible to this get dimension and properties.
Yes,
So
sir.
will this perimeter and area will it be accessible to properties or not?
Yes, sir. It will be available.
Yes. So
But
that
why
is how
you
you
are
get the
hiding?
result. Hiding.
Why
Just to
make
show
that
you
private?
that this is also possible.
Oh, okay, sir.
And we didn't want to use it separately. We wanted the properties embedded in this, all the things, height, width, and perimeter area embedded in this properties member function.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now private member function can only be called by another function that is a member of its class. Yes. You have seen that parameter.
Yes, sir. The parameter area.
Huh? So even though they were private member function, they have been called by another function that is a member of its own class. Even an object cannot invoke a private function using the that you know. Okay,
Yes,
if it is
sir.
private function, it cannot be invoked by an object. Now see over here. If I try to do something like this label.area, because it is private, so it will
Error.
give error. Yes.
Sir.
Now look at this. These were const member functions. So okay, so if a member function of does not alter any data in class, then member function may be declared as const. Okay, even deliberately or mistakenly, you will not be able to change the data value. So it's better to make it const member function. So qualifier const appears both in the member function declaration and definition. You can see over here. You have mentioned this const in the prototype also, and you have mentioned this const
In the definition.
Yes, sir.
in the definition also. That is what it is saying. So once a member function declared as const, it cannot alter the data values of the class. If you try to do it, then it will generate an error message at the compilation time itself. You can see in this example, here, since it was const, so I tried to change the value of height, make it twice, and then return it. So it is saying that, okay, since it is a const member function, you cannot change the data value. Okay, so that is the effect of this const member function.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So with this, I will conclude for today, and then we can continue in my next lecture. If you have any queries, you can ask me.